Hello and welcome to our conversations at Davos 2025. I'm Shereen Bhan, and there's plenty of excitement here on the consumption story in India and how that's going to play out. Marry consumption with health, wellness and beauty, and you do have a sector that's drawing a fair degree of attention and investments. Someone who was ahead of the curve in many ways, Vinita Jain, the founder of Biotique, joins us now here in Davos. Vinita, always a pleasure. Welcome back on CNBC-TV18. It's great to have you with us. So since last Davos, when we met and spoke about business and the opportunities that you were focusing on, take us through how the year has gone.
The year has been fantastic. Biotique has grown over 30% year on year this year, and the company is doing very, very well. Yeah.
Well, Vinita, speaking about growth plans, and as I pointed out, this is a sector that's drawing a fair amount of attention as well as investments. We've got a whole host of new companies, startups entering this space of health, wellness and beauty. What do you see as the evolution of this market? What have you seen as the changing trends in this market that you're hoping to focus on?
The most important thing is authenticity and efficacy of products, which Biotique focuses on, and health and beauty and well-being are really top. After the COVID, everybody is really focusing on health, beauty and personal well-being as the most important thing in life, and I think the sector is truly booming.
Well, what's happening in the labs, what's happening on the R&D side, what kind of products are you innovating at this point in time?
So now it's all about the past, present and the future. So what we have done is taken the 5,000-year-old science, combined it with 21st century biotechnology and made products for the future. So Biotique is truly products for the future, where we use augmented reality, beauty tech, and bring consumers the best of the East and the West, ancient and modern, to really focus on consumer needs.
Well, talking about modern, let's talk about the young consumer, not just the young Indian consumer, but the young global consumer. And you talked about the ancient art of Ayurveda and how you're attempting to, or you have, of course, for several decades now, been attempting to modernize that. How do you connect with a young global audience today? How do you sell them the story of ancient Ayurveda?
So, firstly, there's a huge interest in Ayurveda, yoga and meditation. The global audience knows that, and more so today, the younger generation is truly interested in mental well-being and the sciences of Ayurveda, yoga and meditation. And with the internet, with quick commerce, with e-commerce, and it's very easy to reach the consumer, explain them the benefits of the deep roots that Ayurveda brings to them, and the consumer really connects to them. Because just remember, 5,000 years ago, we all lived like animals, and it's the ancient sciences of Ayurveda, yoga and meditation that has brought us health and well-being. And human life expectancy back in the day was just 30 years, and now it's more like 100 years. So it's our ancient sciences that have really focused and brought us that, taken us from 30 years to 100 years today.
You talked about life expectancy, and you're absolutely right. On account of many changes, including, of course, the changes in science and medicine, we're now seeing people live older and fuller lives. I mean, well into their 90s, and in some cases even going beyond 100.
Yes.
And that's an important market as well that's opening up.
Yes.
Traditionally wasn't a market for consumer companies. How are you looking at the silvers market, so to speak?
It is a very big market, and also they want luxury products and rooted in the past and the future, and it's because people are starting new careers at 60, so they want to look good. So I think there's a really big audience there, and then they have to look into the Ayurveda, because Ayurveda is the only science in the world that has truly studied the problems of aging and has brought and understood how to tackle them. There is no other. That's the only science in the world that has done it. And today, of course, modern science is augmenting it.
So is that going to be a big focus for you at Biotique?
Yes,
the whole anti-aging...
the longevity.
Yes.
The longevity, science of longevity, because Ayurveda is literally translated as the science of life. And it is the science of longevity. And that's a science that I've studied from my childhood. I read and write Sanskrit. And this is a science that can build health and beauty for a lifetime.
You talked about looking at this from the prism of longevity. longevity and not necessarily from the anti-aging
Yes,
perspective,
yes.
which is what the beauty industry has
Yeah.
sold women
Yes.
for generations now. How do you approach this as a woman yourself, but more importantly as an entrepreneur founder of a beauty business? How do you look at this?
I think it's beauty for a lifetime, health and beauty for a lifetime. Today it's not about anti-aging. Prevention is better than cure. And Ayurveda has always said that you have to look beautiful at every stage and age of life. And that's what I truly believe in, and I practice these sciences. And I think there's a huge market there globally.
Well, speaking of a huge market globally, you of course have self-funded the business. You've been toying with the idea of an IPO.
Yes.
There's no debt.
We are zero debt.
You're zero debt. And I know that there have been many investors along the way who've been wanting to get on board, but nothing on the cards so far?
No, I think eventually we'll just go for an IPO, and because the valuations are great in the industry, and that's what we will do. But our company is zero debt, and it's completely internally funded. We have zero working capital from outside also. So the company is financially very strong, and we will go for an IPO in the near future.
We talked about this the last time as well.
Yes.
Any closer now in terms of
because
firming up
there is. I think the reason for IPO will be for the longevity of the company rather than any financial need. So there's no rush for us to go for an IPO. But in the near, but I do want to leave an institution of beauty and longevity behind, and the best way to do it is through the public market, so that it will have a journey of its own, the company, after my lifetime. So that's the reason that there's no big rush to do it, but for the longevity of the company, I will do it.
We'll consider this as a possibility at some point, as you pointed out. But, Vinita, what we're seeing off late, especially, in terms of FMCG sales, is that there's been a slowdown in consumption in India. Are you witnessing that as well? Are you noticing that also?
Not really, because you see, we have growing middle class, at least for brand Biotique, which is premium FMCG. I think maybe for the mass segment, Biotique is always more at the premium end of the consumer, and the consumer today understands the importance of looking good over a lifetime. And people are starting very young. Skin care, beauty care is starting very young. No more are people waiting for to be in their 30s to start thinking of looking good. Teenagers are using the beauty ritual, and they want to take care of their skin, and they understand that it's important to look good, because the skin is the largest organ, and you have to take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But, going global, and you've, of course, started that expansion journey into global markets a while back. How are things panning out there?
They're doing very well. The global market is very interested in the sciences of Ayurveda, yoga, and meditation, and what they really need is authentic Ayurvedic products of high quality, where Biotique fits in. And, now we're going to the US market, and the US market is really growing at 7.2% CAGR year on year for the next 5 years for a niche segment like Ayurvedic products.
So how will you distribute in the US?
So we, we have partners with e-commerce players and offline and online partners that we are partnering with. But mainly online will be a big channel for us in the US.
Speaking of the online channel, how's that playing out in India? Now you have, of course, quick commerce as well, and beauty is exploding on even quick commerce services. So how's that going for you?
Very well. We grew 40% year on year last year on our e-commerce and quick commerce, and today you can buy a Biotique product and it can be delivered to your house in 30 minutes. And so we are on all e-commerce platforms and quick commerce, and the consumer experience, because they can read online, and the young Gen Z, can read the details about the heritage of the product, the brand, and it's doing very well, and especially with influencer marketing and YouTube and Instagram. They're really it is very nice for them to experience the product through that channel. So
what does that mean then in terms of your offline expansion? Are you slowing that down given how fast e-commerce is going for Biotique?
E-commerce is doing very well, but I do think the consumer does want to have touch and feel experience. So I don't think we are slowing down offline. The consumer wants a bit of both. I don't think it's either or. Today the consumer is spoiled for choice. They sometimes want to buy it in their nearby shopping mall, or they want to have it delivered in 30 minutes. It just depends on the consumer.
you talked about knowing how to read and write Sanskrit, and you've, of course, spent a lot of your time looking at Sanskrit texts to drive inspiration for the products that you have put on the shelves as far as Biotique is concerned. But I also know that that you're a big believer in the power of technology, and you've spent a fair amount of your time understanding the many changes that technology is bringing about. How are you marrying the use of technology both on the back end as well as the front end for Biotique?
As far as the manufacturing is concerned, Biotique is advanced Ayurveda. We've always believed that it is 21st century biotechnology blended with the 5,000-year-old science of Ayurveda. So as far as the product formulations are concerned, because I'm head of R&D, those are the two strong pillars, strong technology, past and the future. And as far as our manufacturing facilities are concerned, also we are now having a lot of high-tech, biotech enabled manufacturing systems that give us very high-quality products. Because
and on the front end, the use of technology to change the consumer experience, and we've seen a lot of beauty tech these days. What are you doing about that?
So we are using augmented reality. Today you can go online and have your skin analyzed by AI, your hair analyzed by AI, and they recommend products for you. And then you can understand how to do your makeup, what cheek products you should use, or eye or lip products you should use, because there can be a live video, they can do your imaging and recommend products for you. So it's really customized and personalized care, because the computer, the AI scans your face and then gives you exactly for your skin type and hair type and your changing needs. The skin has changing needs in summer and winter, and at every age and stage you may need different products. So with AI you can really get personalized recommendation.
Absolutely. So is this going to be something where you focus on and put more investments into?
Yes, of course. We are focusing and putting a lot of investment in augmented reality and personalized recommendation for the consumer, whatever they need. That particular day or particular week, they may need some different things.
Vinita, as I said, that this is a space where we've seen a lot of young Indian startups enter the market. We've got a whole host of D2C brands who are in this space. What would your advice be to them? Biotique has now been, on shelves for decades now. You've gone through many, many cycles. What would your advice be to young entrepreneurs who are looking at getting into the beauty and wellness space?
I think most important is the quality. I think that is number one, because, and there are no shortcuts to success. To really focus on highly efficacious products and product quality, that would be the number one thing, because I think consumer delight. I think Biotique has always focused on consumer delight and filling the needs of the consumer, and that's where our strength has been. And I think consumer delight and finding that one niche that the consumer needs.
Would you consider, M&A? Would you look at buying any of these companies that are out there? Because there has been a fair degree of M&A that's taken place in this space.
Yes. You see, Biotique has state-of-the-art R&D facilities, and that's how we are able to develop products to fill in any consumer gaps that may be there in the market. We have a long pipeline of innovative products that are for the Indian market. And if there's any good company, we would be open to that.
So, you talked about the pipeline for innovation. Typically, how long does it take for a product from the idea stage to, working on it in the lab to actual go to market?
So actually, it can take anywhere between 3 to 5 years to develop, because, stability testing, toxicology testing, and all that highly, on human skin is very, very important. So the products from R&D to from inception to the shelf could take anywhere between 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah. So because you have to do all sorts of testing along the way, because before before the consumer puts it on their skin, it's very, very important that the product has stood all the tests and all the toxicology checks. So there's lots of tests to be done before it can go onto human skin.
Right. And has technology speeded up that process?
It has made it, it speeded up or made it more refined, you know, because there are some things that just take that time, you know, you have to take time to do it well. And technology enables it, but there's no shortcut to success.
No, there is no shortcut. But talking about manufacturing in India and making in India for the world, what has been what have been some of the big lessons, what have been some of the big learnings over the years of making in India and now making in India for the world?
Yes, so Biotique has state-of-the-art manufacturing facilities in the foothills of the Himalayas. We grow our own crops, I mean herbs. Around the region, plants are grown for us. And one of the main, so what we do is bring the product from the farm to the bottle and to the consumer. So the big learning is really high quality at every stage, and to manage each stage of production, because that's something that we manage, and all our products are made to EC, FDA regulation for the global market. And that's what we focused on over the years.
Well, you know, as you look at where things currently stand and future opportunities, are there any spaces that you're not in that you believe you should be? Is that something that, you know, will drive innovation for you at Biotique in the next few years?
Yes, I think there are.
You're already now in color cosmetics as well.
Yes.
So is there any space that you're looking at this point in time?
I think just filling the changing needs of the consumer. I think the consumer has evolving needs, and especially with AI and beauty tech, we see a lot of new niche areas and personalized skincare. I think the future is all about personalized skincare and consumer-specific needs, you know, and dermatological skincare. People are wanting medicinal skincare, so that's where we are focusing. I think the new growth is coming from medicinal skincare. That's what we are doing a number of launches for that.
You know, as a woman who started her own business in India, as you look at what's happening in the world today, and you know, while we are seeing more women-led businesses, there is a need for more to be done to encourage more women towards entrepreneurship. What do you think are the necessary enablers that we should focus on?
I think it's a change of mindset. I never think it's man or a woman. I think we are all equal, and we have the everything equal. I don't think there is any reason to make it gender biased. You know, we all have
that society doesn't treat you equally.
No, but you make society treat you equally, because you know you behave in a way that society will treat you as equal, because it's. I don't think we need. As a woman, I never sought for special benefits. Back in the day when not many women were in business, I never thought I'm a woman, so I should do this. If you know your subject, it doesn't matter. If you're a man or a woman, you'll be respected, and you can succeed in any sphere of life.
Yeah, well, that is the hope, but there is also, there are also many barriers that women have to face, and especially when it comes to things like fundraising, etc. We have, of course, seen the data show up the fact that women's access to funds, especially when we talk about venture capital funding, etc., is far lower than the access that men have while they're starting up businesses. Would you consider perhaps supporting, women-led businesses, women entrepreneurs?
Yes, that would be an interesting idea. I think that's something that I would support, women. But I would not make my family office. We have a family office. I don't think I'll ever differentiate that. If it's a good idea, I'll invest in it.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. And I think we as women have to get over that we need special privileges. I never thought of that. I'm just speaking from personal experience. I never thought of special privileges because I'm a woman. I do my job well. I understand my subject well, and it's a great business idea, profitable idea. That's what matters.
You know, you talked about how this has been a profitable business. It's also a zero-debt business, and those are unusual things to see, especially in an era of the last 10-15 years where we've gone through an era of easy money, where people have taken on debt to diversify and so on and so forth. What made you focus from the start of the business on ensuring that it would be a profitable business, it would be a zero-debt business?
So I started with my own money, and I never took outside capital. And the only way I learned how to understood business was, profitable. If the business is profitable, you can take care of society, you can take care of the business. I don't think running a loss-making business is a great idea. I never thought of it like that. So if the fundamentals of business are strong, it will be profitable.
So what is the aspiration over the next few years that you have for Biotique?
I think being a global house of brands, lots of brands, Biotique is starting number of brands and global house of brands, and fulfilling the global needs of beauty, longevity and well-being for the consumer. I think that's the big focus area, and there's lots to be done, and the company is growing 30% year on year, and profit, we have a bottom line of 25% of revenue, so it's interesting. And
so where are you at in terms of revenue today, and where do you foresee revenue in the next 5 years?
We are privately held, so I'll take that question a little bit later, because I just don't want to give out the figures right now, but we'll take that question next time.
When you IPO, then we'll get more numbers from you. But Vinita, it's always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us here on CNBC-TV18. Before I let you go, what's the expectation here from Davos in terms of the big takeaways?
I'm just looking at what the world is seeing in the future, what is the future, and how AI going to be used. How are we going to really leverage AI for the well-being of humanity? That's an interesting take, which I'm looking forward to understand.
Through your family office, is that something that you're focusing on?
Focusing in investments. Through my family office, we want to do AI investments, and that's a big focus of what is the right niche, because that's something that's new for us. But I do want to invest in AI, and through our family office, and just looking for the right opportunities.
Have you set up any meetings, any prospective
yes, we have. I am. I'm having some meetings. Let's see how they all go. But just really understanding where the gaps in the sector are, and what would be the right things for us to invest in, because you have to be careful
Yes, and valuations have skyrocketed for anything linked to AI.
I know. So so you have to just do the right thing, I suppose, and get to know.
And outside of AI, what else would the family office be looking at? What are the other ideas that you may want to support and back?
I think consumer, because consumer industries is something that we really understand, food and consumer behavior. So I think consumer and AI are the two big areas for focus for our family office investments.
Well, Vinita, thanks so much. We wish you the very best of luck. Have a wonderful time here in Davos, and we look forward to seeing you back again here, and of course in India.
Thank you so much, Shereen. Always a pleasure speaking to you.
Always a pleasure speaking to you, and all the very best.
Thank you.
With that, it is time for us to wrap up this CNBC TV18 special here from Davos 2025.